All right, Gen Z, we need to talk. Honestly, you could have went with a sporty and interesting piece that you could just wear anywhere, something like this Oris. Instead, studies show that you're going for the square piece with black Roman numerals and incredibly small and petite. And I would just like to find out why. So on today's video, we're going to be going into why dress watches are coming back and why Cartier is actually the cornerstone of that decision. Did TikTok make it cool, or did we just kind of realize that class never really goes out of style? I guess we'll see. So if you're new to collecting, this episode here is going to be your map. We'll cover what counts as a dress watch, why Gen Z is driving demand, and which Cartier models I think really are great entry-level investments. We'll talk about pieces that are great fits, how to make sure that that watch gets on your wrist without looking way too big for you. And if you stick around, I might even share with you a checklist on how to buy pre-owned without getting burned. You also might hear what are the three pieces that I like that I think should be in every collection. Okay, let's get into it. So first and foremost, this isn't just a hunch. News outlets and fashion magazines are calling 2025 the year of the dress watch. I think smaller models are coming back into fashion as well as precious metals. And we are also getting into more formal occasions. I think, as COVID is hopefully far behind us, people are going out more and they're learning to dress up, hopefully in suits that fit. And it's not just dress watches that are coming back, in my opinion. I think high horology as a whole is making a comeback. You have, brands specifically like Cartier who dropped just a whole bunch of really interesting pieces this year, different tanks and just amazing dials. And I think that collectors are talking again about, as I said, high horology and jump hours and moon phases and minute repeaters, and I think that's great. I think the love for horology as a whole has really come full circle, and I'm excited to see how that plays out. Now, if you were to ask me why dress watches are making a comeback, I think it's that whole idea that we are going back to smaller and more compact pieces. We have smaller phones. And just the idea of stealth wealth has really taken over the internet. And, my idea is this: a dress watch shows that you paid attention, while those big faces that were popular years ago shows that you need attention. And I think that we are really focusing more on quality over quantity in recent months, and I hope it continues. But here's the thing, why Cartier specifically? There are plenty of other dress watches from other brands like Ulysse Nardin, A. Lange & Söhne, and even AP that would make great examples. So why Cartier specifically? I think for that we have to look at the data. In 2025 alone, the purchasing of a Cartier went from about 1.7 to 6.8. in the consumer journals, as a fourfold increase in younger generations buying Cartier. And why are they buying Cartier? I think it's an affordable option. I think Cartier has a ton of market research around that brand, and I think they have a ton of marketing in general. You have Cartier, not just watches, but Cartier bracelets, and I think besides Rolex, Cartier is, I would say, a strong second when it comes to visibility. And a lot of these younger individuals are just not able to afford that Rolex as their first piece. So when they're looking for a dress watch, they always go Cartier. besides the affordability of the piece, you have versatility and a sort of quiet luxury that comes with Cartier. There is, of course, a lot less gatekeeping than Rolex. You go into Rolex, they never have anything. You go into Cartier, they're happy to educate you and sell you a watch. And I think when you are an entry-level new collector, you don't want that animosity with the person trying to sell you the watch. So I think that's where Cartier has quietly come in and gained a bit of market share in the fact that they are not pretentious, and they have a ton of versatility. You have a Dumont, you have a Tank, you have a Roadster. You can go, small and unique like this, with a nice unique dial, and it's just not going to break the bank. And I think that's where Cartier has really just shined for the younger crowd and Gen Z, especially. And if you look at fit, there's something about a Cartier that just fits right. The smaller and pieces just fit really well on a smaller wrist, anywhere from 6.5 to 7.5. Our older generations, you have the silent generation, the baby boomers, they wanted something big. They wanted something huge. But I think that time has really surpassed itself. I think that people want something small, something they could very well fit under a cuff. And I hate to say it, living in a city myself, crime has come on a rise. So you want something you could just, pull your cuff over and then hide from anyone who's nefarious, who, might not want to see it. I also think, as we said earlier, your dollar stretches a lot farther when you are looking at Cartier. Something that's a full set that's really clean should really not cost you more than $6,000 or $7,000. You can get, a really sweet entry-level Cartier that is, quartz, but also now if I was looking for my first dress watch, I would look at things like the reprint on the dial. Basically, is the dial a reprint? How messy is it? Let's look at the crown. Has the crown been replaced? Over polishing is also a very big thing when you're looking at Cartier. And if the dial is original, if it is a aftermarket dial, of course that's going to affect the value. How does the clasps fit? And of course, always buy from someone you trust, and preferably buy something with a paper trail. If it's got box and papers, that's always what I suggest to be your first purchase. Yes, you can go watch only for your first purchase if you want to save a pretty penny, but Cartier is already a pretty affordable brand. So that's why I would suggest on your first purchase to not only buy the seller, but buy something complete that you can trust. And I think you can't go wrong. Yeah, so that's it. I think if you were to ask me, I think the comeback of dress watches and the resurgence of square watches in general, it's not about nostalgia, it's about Gen Z and the younger generations reclaiming what style is and what elegance is. I think that, in the coming months and years, especially with the rise of gold, if you've caught my last video, you're going to see dressier and more classy options when it comes to putting something on your wrist. And to those new collectors who are watching this video for the first time, or maybe they've been a follower of my channel for a while, thank you so much. I look forward to welcoming you to this industry and to this awesome hobby that we have of collecting and talking watches. If there's a piece that you're thinking about getting, or something that you have on your wrist that you want to share with us, please leave that in the comments. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on dress watches and where you see them going in the near future and years to come. All right. Bye-bye.